why don't you leave, you go to work and I'll pay you when you get back, shorty. She like, no, pay me now, I don't trust you, pay me my money now. What's going on, guys? This is the one and only Travel Time with Paul. Make sure you like and subscribe, share this video. Now, I want to give a mini monologue before I get into the topic of the video. If you guys haven't checked out the latest videos that I uploaded over the weekend, go check them out or whatever. It's a different format than what I usually do. Usually I give my commentary while I'm on camera, but I did things a little bit different because I recorded the videos at the weirdest time. I recorded the first one at midnight, and I recorded the second one at like 4 or 5 in the morning. Usually I sit outside and I record my videos, but man, it's hot as a freelancer walking down Walker Street for JJ right now outdoors. So I'm gonna sit my ass right here in this truck in the comfort of some AC and give y'all guys this good old commentary. But I digress. So we gonna get into the topic of the video. Now the topic of this video is Tales from Pattaya, Thailand Part 2. I did Part 1 yesterday. I hope you guys like it and enjoy it. Make sure you go give that video a thumbs up, and make sure you give this one a thumbs up or whatever. So let's get into the topic of the video. So it's 2022, summer 2022. We got a guy that's from Jamaica, Queens, New York. Now, he retired from the Marines or whatever, and he learned how to do day trading back in 2015. This is how he was able to live abroad for 3 to 4 years, living in Thailand. And he spends time between Laos and the Philippines or whatever, because he has a big thing for Asian women or whatnot. So he spent most of his time between Bangkok and Phuket. But Phuket, over the years, Phuket started to get too expensive for him. Now, like most guys that live in Thailand or whatever, you would be surprised. You have a lot of guys that live in Thailand and they never step foot at Pattaya or whatever because of Pattaya reputation. These the guys that are actually looking for top quality women with moral class and high standards. Not a woman that anybody can get that was a bum in America, but if they got a few dollars in their pocket, they can pay these women to stay the night with them. So he was one of these type of guys. He was arrogant. Oh, and before I get into the topic of the video, you got guys saying, man, the way Paul look obese with a hairline look like he came out the box of an Uncle Ben Rice. Who the hell is him to be? He got the audacity to be arrogant. Check this out. First of all, I didn't start being arrogant yesterday. I didn't wake up 2 weeks ago, 7 o'clock in the morning, and just say I'm just gonna be arrogant for no reason. I've been arrogant since I was 14. I ain't always been a heavy set guy. I was arrogant when I was small and slim. So you think because I'm obese now, I gained 50 to 60 pounds, I'm supposed to just stop being arrogant? Nah, it don't work that way. I mean, but I digress. So I ain't mean to get off topic. Let's get back into the topic. So he never stepped foot in Pattaya or whatever. And this is one of them guys that used to talk bad about any foreigners, no matter the country they came from, about even going to Pattaya. He used to always say, only washed up men from Europe go to Pattaya, or guys who ain't got no game, no charisma, or no social skills. They don't know how to talk to women. They go to Pattaya. Pattaya is for losers or whatever. But the cost of living started getting too high for him in Phuket and even Bangkok. The condo that he was living in eventually went from, want to say 30,000 baht per month to damn near 50,000 baht per month. And that's why I keep telling you guys, people keep talking about the cost of living is cheap, but it's slowly starting to go up in most of the more popular places in Thailand. So always remember, good things don't last forever. Oh no. And then you got a lot of people on the internet running their mouth, blowing up the spot. Where are we talking? Colombia, Brazil, the Philippines, all these places that's known to be cheap right now, they're not gonna stay cheap forever, because you gotta remember, you got people in these Western countries that's making $250,000 a year or $500,000 a year, but they damn near can't afford to live in Europe or America anymore. And they can work remote, they can run a business remote. What you think is gonna happen? They gonna move to these places that they see online. Oh, the cost of living is cheap in these places. So they gonna be like, oh damn, bingo. I ain't gotta live in Miami, Florida and pay $30,000 a damn month for a damn condo when I can just move to Pattaya, Thailand and pay $300. Shit, I'm gonna go over there and buy me 9 of them and just raise the cost of living up. Put them on Airbnb and charge $1,000 US a month for them. That's what's going on when you got people get to running their mouth. Now, I'm not saying you probably gonna have people get in the comment section, oh, you one of them type of dudes, when you find something good, you don't like to share it with everybody. if I left America because the women wasn't so great, and I left America because the cost of living was high as a damn, was high as Eddie Kane on the Fire Heartbeats, why would I go on YouTube and brag about how cheap the new place I'm living in? Forget all that. I mean, you can say it's selfish, but hey, I ain't trying to blow no spots up. If I find a great place and I love it, now of course I'm going. If you got guys that's really looking for a better lifestyle and that's looking for a woman with better qualities or whatever in these different countries, of course I'm gonna spread the word or whatever. Hey guys, if this is what you're looking for, you can find it over here. But you don't want to attract the guys that are always hanging out in these red light districts, and then they saying you can find a traditional woman there, because I'm the type of guys that move to these places, and the places that I really like to go to from here on out won't be known as a red light district. Now I know you guys was like, but hell, you talking about a red light district right now? Well, because I've never been to a place where I lived 5 to 6 months and I got stories for centuries. Whether we talking things of the guys I know, the stories they experienced, or the stories I heard while sitting in the bar and talking to other foreigners. Now, they got this thing in Thailand called the Flyers Club. Look it up. The Flyers Club is basically, you got these guys, they move from like Australia, the UK, or even the USA or whatever, or Canada. They move over there with like a lot of money. When I'm talking like $300,000, sometimes millions of dollars. And they get unlucky and they meet them a young, beautiful Thai woman or whatever. Like you had a situation, you had an older guy, he met this Thai woman, and she was a bar girl. Of course she was. She wasn't no so-called village woman or no traditional woman. Yes, she was working in a bar. And before I get into the topic of that, before I finish, I'm gonna get back to that. Hold that thought. If you come into Thailand and you trying to get in a serious relationship, avoid women that's working in the adult industry. The adult industry means something a whole lot different than what it is in the Western world. The adult industry can be the blowjob parlor. Yes, they do have those in Thailand, a blowjob parlor. The massage parlor, and I'm here to let you guys know, any massage parlor in Pattaya, they may look clean, the women may be dressed conservative like they at work, but you can do some strange things in these places. If you don't believe me, when you go visit, go find out yourself. So this ain't to discourage you guys, this to put you guys on game. That way, if you get on Bumble or Thai Friendly and you find a woman that's dressed up, conservative, whatever, but she works at a massage parlor, you better believe she got more bodies on her than a cemetery in the Ninth Ward. So watch out for that, but avoid any of the type of women that work if that's not what you're looking for. Avoid the women that working in the bars, avoid the women that working in the massage parlor, avoid the women that working in the blowjob parlors. That's self-explanatory. And avoid the women that working in the go-go bars. And last but not least, most definitely avoid the women that's in the nightclubs, because a lot of the women that's in the nightclubs, damn near half, if not majority of them, are working girls or freelancers. They on the clock looking for a John or whatnot. So, but if that's what you're looking for, then the places I just mentioned, they're the places you would want to go to. You don't have to avoid them places. Now, if you just looking to get a quickie and have a good short time or a long time, then you go to a place like that. But let me get back and let me finish what I was about to say about the guy who was one of the latest members to join the Flyers Club. Now, the Flyers Club is basically, you got a lot of guys, they go broke, or they let a woman or one of the locals take advantage of them financially or break their heart, so they commit suicide. Where are we talking about? A lot of times they jump off a high rise of one of the condos or whatever, and they off themselves. And it was happening so often, they nicknamed it the Flyers Club or whatever. And you had a guy who was dating a Thai woman. The whole time she had a Thai boyfriend living back in the province. And he was paying this woman a lot of damn money. Man, he had done bought this lady a bull, cause that's one of the gold, land, bull, and a house, and manipulating you into getting a business that they can eventually take from you later is one of the major things these women get these foreigners on. So she was able to get this guy to buy her a nail shop or whatever, and I think he brought her one of them 5-star street food chicken vendors or whatever, the 5-star chicken joints. He brought her one of that. This man spent a lot of money on her, and eventually he bought her a condo or whatever. One day he went to the condo. Her Thai boyfriend, who was in the shadows for the longest, was there with her. The Thai boyfriend told him in English, "You can't be here anymore, you gotta go." They had a big fight about it or whatever, and the Thai boyfriend whooped his ass or whatever, and then they called the police. He went to jail. When he got out of jail, let's just say he's no longer with us anymore. But let's get into the topic of the video. And that happened quite often, but you don't never hear about it unless you go do your research. Whether we talking Google or YouTube. Like they just caught a Thai woman who killed 12 other Thai people that she knew with cyanide poisoning because she let greed get the best of her. Look that story up. I'm gonna eventually do a commentary on that topic too, maybe next week sometime. So remember this: Asian people in general, and this is not prejudice, but Asian people, it's a number games with them. It's all about the money. The money is the motive. If you think you're gonna get with an Asian woman just for love, man, you set yourself up for failure. Look at it as a business transaction, because that's all it is. When it comes to relationships, they don't have no emotions. It's all about the money. It's all about that dollar. That's the motivation for them. And that's what this story about the guy that's from Queens, New York. So he had been running through women in Bangkok. He was meeting a lot of them on Bumble and Tinder or whatever. And then most of them he was meeting in person, the good quality women in Bangkok. Now, at this point, he was up 20-0. And what I mean by that, he was up to 20-0, messing with professional type Thai women that actually had a real job and it was a freelancer. I mean, this man was slam dunking, dicking them every other night like Sean Kemp in the 1996 finals doing the tomahawk on Michael Jordan. That's how cold this guy was. He was up so far, when I'm talking 20-0, he reminded me of Dirk Nowitzki free throws in the 2011 Western Conference Finals when they eliminated the OKC. And you remember, Dirk Nowitzki wasn't losing no free throws in that series, but I digress. So the cost of living started to get too high for him in Bangkok. So he started looking for a property in other Thailand cities or whatnot. He looked at Phuket, and Phuket turned out to be more expensive than Bangkok. Hell, it cost damn near 300 to 400 baht to go 4 kilometers in Phuket. And if you trying to lease a condo in Phuket, they don't just want you to lease it for 3 months. Most of the time, you're gonna have to lease it for a whole year. Thanks to the Russians, they ruined it, and they kind of helped raise the cost of living up in Phuket. And not just them. Phuket is you talking about a bunch of tourism, a lot of people from foreign countries. You got more people from other countries in Phuket than you got locals. But let's get back into the topic of the video. So he looked around the Pattaya area, and he noticed it was one of the cheapest areas as far as where it get a lot of foreigners going to or whatever, because he was looking to invest in other properties. So he ended up moving to John Tink, which is, and I can't pronounce that damn town for nothing in the world, which is next door to Pattaya with a better beach and cleaner beach. And it's kind of more laid back, and the cost of living is a little bit more cheaper than Pattaya, even though Pattaya cost of living is cheaper than Bangkok and the rest of the places, except for Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai probably be cheaper than Pattaya based on the research I've done. So dreaded, never did he really want to go to Pattaya, because he always thought Pattaya was for losers and lames and older guys that was in their 60s and 70s who was no longer a spring chicken, and they didn't have what it takes to get a younger woman in their country. So they came all the way to Thailand, and the first place they moved to is Pattaya, where you could be 99 years old and you can get you a 21-year-old whatever, and you can feel like you back in 1975 again with your 1975 Stingray Chevy Corvette. So he said fine. He swallowed his pride and he moved on to the Pattaya, Thailand area. But before he started going to like the bars and going to Walking Street, 808, Flex, and all these other places, he was hanging out mostly in Sarachi, which is the town that's next door to Pattaya, because he spoke Thai. He spoke a little Thai or whatever. I think his Thai on a scale of 1 to 10 was about a 7 or whatever. And Sarachi and them other cities that's next door to Pattaya, you gotta know the language or you will be taking out your phone every 10 seconds, because them towns is mostly for the locals. Most of the street signs are in Thai. They don't have no street signs even in English. And you'll rarely see a foreigner out there unless it's daytime. You'll have a foreigner bringing a Thai girlfriend from Pattaya to the beaches out there, because the beaches are a whole lot cleaner. You won't see piece of boxes and maybe a broken leg from a shark bite from 1922 floating around in the water like you would see in Pattaya. And not to mention, what a lot of people don't know, the beach in Pattaya is not really safe to really get in that water, because that's a lot of sewer water from the flooding during rainy season, and they got pipes where they pump a lot of the sewage water in those beaches. That's why the water looks so diluted and it doesn't look as clean as it used to look 30 years ago or whatever, because it's a lot of toxic waste up in the water. So let's get back to the topic of the video. I just gave y'all guys a lesson while giving you guys, I gave you guys a little game on the beach in Pattaya. But yeah, let's get back into the topic of the video. So he was spending most of his time in Sriracha, because he was meeting women in Sriracha off the dating site called Bumble or whatever. And eventually he got tired of going all the way to Sriracha, so he said, forget it, I'm gonna start going to the local bars and stuff around here. So he started off going to like a bar like Lucky Star and a few of the go-go bars. He was going to Kink, and he'll hang out in Windmill or whatever. Finally, he swallowed his pride and he went to 808. Next he went to 808, it was on New Year's Eve. It was more men in there. It was more like a sausage fest than it was more men in there than it was women. It was damn near 2 to 1. So he left 808 and he went to the condo, got back on the dating site. He had a DM from a because you know on Bumble the women gotta message you first. You just can't message them. So he had a message from a beautiful 5'3", thick in all the right place Thai woman, one of the lighter skinned ones. She had like the greenish blue eyes, like she was mixed with a little German or something. Now, she ended up catching his attention. Never did he ask was she a freelancer or anything, because he never asked women this. He'll just make the assumption that they wasn't, and he'll game on them. Whether they was a freelancer or not, he figured he could still talk them out of their draws for free or whatever without spending a little change. So they arranged, they set up a date to meet, and she told him she wanted to go have some coffee. Where they went to one of the little coffee shops, and from there they ended up going to this restaurant called the Sky Gallery or whatever, which is next door to the Chocolate Factory. And this other restaurant, I can't remember the name of it. They ended up hanging out there or whatnot, and this man ended up having a little feelings for the girl. Now, she spoke good English or whatever. What he didn't know, for her to be such a young age, she was only 21 years old, but she was very wise for her age. And a lot of people don't know about foreign women, they more mature than a lot of the women in America. They learn at a very young age, because a lot of them come from such a poor background. They learn how to run game at a very young age. That's why anybody will tell you foreign women got way better game than American women never thought about having. American women really doesn't have any game. That's why I don't understand why OnlyFans is such a big thing right now. I guess in America, all the woman have to do is just look good and don't have to say a damn thing, and she can get whatever she want out of a guy. Versus a place like Thailand, the Philippines, and Colombia, they can look good and they can tell you they mom need a new throat or a new nose, and boom, here you are coming out of your pocket, taking care of the whole village and eat some. So he ended up having a little feelings for this woman. Now he was already up 20 to 30 to 0. He was on a rampage, just digging them down without coming out of his pocket. But somehow that street got broke with this particular woman. Now, what he did not know, she was a little bit more modernized. She spoke the American slang, and she listened to a lot of rappers like A$AP Rocky now or whatever. And her favorite rapper was Wiz Khalifa. And she always played Wiz Khalifa when she was around him. So never did this guy drive around Thailand or whatever. He always caught the taxi or he always caught a motorbike. But this man was so impressed with this woman, y'all wouldn't believe what he did. He did something he usually wouldn't do. He rented a car. Now he always talked about how scary it was to drive around Thailand, places like Pattaya and Bangkok, because the traffic's so bad in Bangkok. And then you got the motorbike riders, they just cut in between cars, and then when it's dark, if you got bad vision and you're not looking around, you can make a mistake and hit somebody on their motorbike. Because when I was dating a bunch of Thai women, 7 out of 10 of them had a lot of bruises for riding motorbikes or whatever, and I always wondered, like, damn, do the people that drive cars here, can they not drive? Why so many women that used to own a motorbike or that currently own one got a lot of bruises on their legs, their knees, or their forehead or something? But then, when I rented a car, I learned quickly why. It be the people that's driving the motorbike's fault. Man, and I don't blame them, because when you catch a boat, you be wanting to get somewhere fast. So you be thinking like, damn, I'm glad I caught this motorbike, because they cutting right through traffic, and traffic could be bad as hell. Stop it. If you driving a car, probably take you 20 minutes to get to a place that's 5 minutes away, but you catch a motorbike, you gonna get there in 5 minutes, because they cutting through traffic. So this man did something out of the ordinary. She was able to talk him into rent a car. He rented a Ford American, they got Ford pickup trucks in Thailand, but they still got the diesel engines too, and they got the steering wheel on the opposite side of the vehicle, and you drive on the opposite side of the road. And he was always afraid of that. But for this woman, he rented one because she wanted to go shopping in Bangkok at one of the big malls they got there, because they didn't have the clothes that she usually buy in Pattaya, Thailand. So she was able to manipulate him into rent a car, driving in that crazy traffic from Pattaya, Thailand to Bangkok, and go to that mall and go shopping. Now, this woman must have had the best down peace leave in Thailand, because we talking to a veteran who been smashing them back to back, and we talking about a dude who was meeting women with their own business or whatever, and he was able to get with a nothing woman who was working at a damn bar, shooting pool whenever they wasn't getting business in the bar or whatever, and that's how she was making her tips from desperate European foreigners or whatever. So he get with this woman, and he called his homeboy from the west side of Chicago, who was also living in Pattaya, Thailand or whatever. It was his first time living in the country or whatever. He moved there. This guy was 3 months in, and he got to bragging to his homeboy from Chicago. Yo, son, guess what, my boy? The guy from Chicago was like, yeah, what up, Joe? What's happening? Hey, man, I got me one. I think she the one, man. She's young. She got a bright head. She got a good head on her shoulders. Hey, man, word is bond. Yo, baby boy, hey, I got me one. I can shoot you over a picture. And then the guy from Chicago was like, oh, yeah? Oh, well, man, send that shit over, Joe. Man, let me see what she look like. So as the guy was looking for a good picture to send home his homie from Chicago, the guy from Chicago was like, hey, man, I ain't never heard you talk about this about a broad since you been in the country. Old girl must really got you. She got you sprung. She got you hooked like the fiends back in the damn 70s in Harlem when they was going out there Blue Mansion. Old boy from New York was like, yeah, man, hey, man, she love me. Man, hey, right now we on our way to Bangkok, and I'm about to take her shopping, and she impressed with the way I'm driving, boy. Hey, man, hey, I got me a winner, son. So the guy from Chicago gets the picture. He paused for a minute. Guy from New York was like, hey, man, you got the picture yet? I just sent it to you, boy. He was like, yeah, man. Hey, yo, she looks familiar. I think I seen her before. I think I seen her in one of the Facebook groups, and I think I seen her on YouTube a few months ago. The guy from New York was like, oh, yeah? But nah, man, you ain't got no receipts from that, man. You ain't got no receipts. He was like, hey, man, I'm going to look, and I'm going to try to find her picture in one of the Facebook groups, and I'm going to send it back to you. I'm going to hit you right back. Dude from New York was like, all right, yeah, get back with me, son. Hung up. It wasn't 5 minutes later. The dude from Chicago calling back, yeah, what's happening, Joe? Hey, I knew that was her. I found her. Dude from New York was like, oh, yeah, well, shoot me over the picture. He sent him the picture or whatever. Dude from New York was like, hey, yo, son, pause. He looked, damn, man, this is her. And then it got quiet for a second. The guy from New York showed her the picture. Hey, man, what you doing on the picture with this other dude? What happened was there was a guy from that lives in Baltimore, but he originally from West Africa or whatever. He had been going to Thailand off and on. He had been taking a lot of pictures with her and putting her in the Facebook groups and bragging about how she been cooking and cleaning for him, how he been smashing her, and the only thing he spent on was $10 for a meal. Well, we found out he was all cap. So the guy from New York confronted her. He was like, man, who the hell is this nigga? Now, I wouldn't have said nothing about it because it was just your term. And she knew that guy way before y'all even knew each other exist. But he got in his feelings. He exposed his whole car as the beta male he really was or whatever. Then as he asked her who is this dude on this picture. She paused. She was like, oh, he's a YouTuber. He's a real popular YouTuber. I only took the picture with him because he wanted me to be on his YouTube vlog or whatever. Well, we found out that wasn't true. They was in a whole relationship, but it was months ago. So the guy from New York got back on the phone with his homeboy from Chicago. Yo, son, hey, man, I don't like the way you been moving lately. You kind of messy, yo. I'm gonna have to hit you back, man. I ain't with that gossip girly girl shit, that chatty patty shit. You kind of being messy right now, man. You could be messy sometime. Dude from Chicago was like, hey, chat, First of all, you told me to send a picture. I told you she looked familiar. You asked me, homeboy, to send a picture, Joe. So you better come correct, Jack. Dude from New York was like, hey, man, I'm hollering at you later. I'm out. Deuces. He hung up on him. Then he got to going back and forth with Shorty. Whatever. Hey, you need to hit up homeboy and tell him to delete your picture out of the Facebook group, because that's not a good look or whatever. Plus, don't you know he can go to jail for that or whatever? You can press charges on him for doing something like that. Other guys gonna see you in that group and they gonna automatically assume that you're a thought. Well, you would think all the women he's supposed to be smashed and all that bragging he was doing in Bangkok, he would have had enough sense to already know she was a thought or whatever. She gave off all the traits of a damn thought or whatnot. Hell, for crying sake, she worked at a damn bar. What more proof do you need? So, let me get back into the story. So they go to Bangkok and he feeling some type of way. His whole vibe is off. Took her shopping, then they get back to Pattaya. He hit up his homeboy from Chicago and he be like, hey man, yo son, what you doing right now? Boy from Chicago was like, hey man, Joe, I'm just chilling at the condo smoking me up a blunt. He like, hey, let's link up. Let's go to this little spot or whatever. They got a Longhorn not that far from Beach Road. Let's go there and I want to give me a steak and some lasagna or whatever, some pasta. Dude from Chicago was like, yeah, I'm down. I'm gonna hit you back. Give me like 10. Hung up. They meet. They had a little double date or whatever. Guy from Chicago bring his woman. Dude from New York bring the woman that he was with or whatever that they was arguing over early. And as they got through eating, they went to the Marshall bar and they shot pool for a little while. Then after they shot pool, they walked down Walker Street, killed a little time, went to Miss. Miss was too crowded, so they went to Flex, hung out there for a while, and they shot pool there again. The young 21-year-old girl or whatever that was with the dude from New York, she said she wanted to go to a place where they smoke hookah. It's like a hotel spot where they got like a club there and you can smoke hookah or whatnot, and you can shoot pool. Where he get her there? Now, they meet up Thursday. They spent, I want to say 4 or 5 days together. So, he asked his homeboy from Chicago, yo, son, you want to go to the little hookah lounge with me? Dude from Chicago was like, yeah, I'm down, we out. They go to the hookah lounge, and she smoking hookah back to back, they playing pool. I think the hookah alone ended up being like 1,000 baht or some shit like that. So the guy from New York was tight. He got tight, he was like, hey man, you a money pit. I didn't move to Pattaya to be spending all my money on you. I could have stayed in Bangkok for this shit. I wasn't even doing this in Bangkok. The Thai woman looked back at him. Hey, you want to spend time with me? You pay me. Then the dude from New York kind of looked at her with a serious look. That's when she smiled. I'm just playing, I'm just playing. And when she said, I'm just playing, the dude from New York was like, say girl, it's time for us to bounce. Then he told the homie from Chicago, hey man, we about to go back to my condo. I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow or whatnot. Dude from Chicago was like, all right, Joe, we about to leave too. Shorty, she said she ready to go also. So they depart or whatever, they leave the little hookah lounge. They both go to their condos or whatever. Now he spends the whole weekend with her, lovey-dovey, cut her up with this woman all weekend, watching Netflix, watching movies on a Fire Stick or whatnot. Then Monday morning come, she wakes up, she tell him it's time for me to go. Later on tonight, I'm gonna have to go back to work or whatever, and then I need to go see my grandmoms or whatnot. She's in the hospital. Now, this was her game. She didn't have her grandmoms in the hospital. He later found out her grandmoms didn't even exist anymore. So he was thinking like, oh, well, all right, I'm not gonna hold you, B. You can leave, you can bounce. She stood there and she looked at him kind of weird. He looked at her up and down. He was like, what's up? That'll be 15,000 bahts. 15,000 baht? Shorty, are you out of your damn mind? Yo, hey, yo, get your shit and get the fuck out of my condo. That's what he told her. Nah, she wasn't having it. She went from being all nice and sweet. No, pay me right now, motherfucker. Pay me. You fuck me. I stay with you all weekend. You pay me, motherfucker. I'm not going nowhere. You pay me now, motherfucker. That's when he told her, yo, shorty, I'm not paying you a damn thing. Get your shit and bounce. Get out of my place. So she wasn't having it. She got on the phone. She called somebody and she started speaking fast to Thai. It wasn't 10 minutes. She still going back and forth with the dude from New York. It was a knock at the door. He walks, looked through the peephole. What the fuck? Shorty, who the fuck you called to my place? He opened up the door. What the fuck y'all want? They bomb rushed themselves in. It was three other Thai women. And they told him, you have to pay her or we go to the police. So Now he looking lost and confused, because according to him, he's never been in a situation like this. So he said, well, hey, look, I don't have any money on me right now. Why don't you leave? You go to work and I'll pay you when you get back, shorty. She like, no, pay me now. Pay me now, I don't trust you. Pay me my money now. Then the 3 Thai women was like, yeah, man. The 3 Thai women like, yeah, pay her now. We're not going anywhere until you pay her. We call police. So he didn't want no problems or whatever. So he said, okay, walk with me to the ATM machine or whatever. Y'all walk in front of me. Well, they was foolish enough to get in front of him or whatever. And he tried to hurry up and shut the door. Them 3 Thai women, 4 at this point, including her, they got together. They played tug of war, trying to push the door back open or whatever. So he like, the fuck, these little damn Thai women strong as hell. It was so much commotion going on. A few of the neighbors started coming out of their condos or whatever, and including a couple of Thai dudes. Oh man, that's some attention you do not want, because one thing about Thai people, if you get into it with one, you better be ready to fight a gang of them. You be in a bar, you get into it with one Thai dude, you better believe if it's 90 more Thai guys in there, you gonna feel them hands and feet by all 90 of them. 90 divided by 2. So he looking at the scene, he calls them or whatever, and they trying to get back in the condo. So he just said, fuck it. He gave up. He said, y'all walk with me to the nearest 7-Eleven or whatever, because they got the ATM machines at the 7-Eleven. If you ain't got enough bots on you, which is cash, Thailand cash or whatever, you can just go to the ATM machine and they'll charge you 220 baht to withdraw money. And he took them all to the ATM machine at the nearest 7-Eleven, which wasn't that far from him. He paid her 15,000 bahts. Then he said, shorty, lose my motherfucking WhatsApp. I don't ever want to hear from you again. You damaged good to me. You dead to me, shorty. And all the Thai women, they got the mumbling in Thai, whatever. They didn't say nothing else to him or whatever. They just simply walked off because they got what they wanted. Now, the moral of this story, if you gonna mess with one of these women that's working in a bar, make sure y'all already got an understanding. But whether or not, if she gonna stay like a weekend with you like that, you better believe it won't be free. Now, it's one thing if she just coming to spend a few hours with you, she gonna stay the night with you and she ain't ever talked about money, then maybe you got a chance smash or something for free if she out of a bar. But if a woman working in a bar and she stayed 48 to 72 hours with you, hey, you better believe if she ain't bring up money the first day, she gonna eventually bring it up or whatever. But so it was a miscommunication and a misunderstanding on their part or whatever. So he hit up his homeboy from Chicago and he was like, yo son, you was right about that bitch. Man, she just hit your boy off for 15,000 bahts. He said, oh yeah, hey son, I told you. And then the dude from Chicago was like, yeah, Joe, I told you. Hey, and that dude, they say he only spent $10 US on her, which would have been like, I forgot how many bahts that is in Thai money or whatever. But he claimed he only spent that on her. That's how much he spent on her to feed her. Nah, according to Shorty, she spent weeks with this dude. So if she was able to charge this guy 15,000 bahts just spending the whole weekend with him, you better believe she charged the other guy way more money than she charged the guy from New York or whatever. So somebody capping. Ain't no way he only paid $10 damn for some damn fried rice and some street fried chicken there at 7-Eleven, and she was satisfied with that. Money hungry as that woman was, I wouldn't be surprised if he's paid 30,000 bahts for her to spend them 3 weeks she was with him. And I'm gonna tell you something, if you get you a Thai girlfriend and you got on salary, most Thai women, if they look worth something, they ain't gonna want 5, 10, 15,000 bahts for one damn month. They gonna want 20, 30, and 40,000 bahts. Cause you gotta remember, they can make 12,000 bahts working at one of the local restaurants or whatever. They can make 12,000 bahts a month working at a KFC. So don't think you gonna talk one of them into quitting their job for only 10 or 12,000 bahts a month. They gonna want way more than that, because hypergamy may not be as bad as it is in a Western country, but you better believe it's bad enough where them women ain't gonna settle for $500 a month, more like $800 to $1,000 a month in USD or whatever. And we talking about the ones that look worth something. But if you ain't looking for a transactional relationship in Thailand, you do have the option of talking to a woman that got her own money. And I ain't saying you got to be in a 50-50 relationship with her, because if anybody think a transactional relationship gonna last forever and gonna be successful, that's wishful thinking. Because guess what can happen? All have to happen is somebody with more money than you could come by and catch her lacking one day. And if you paying her 20,000 bahts per month, and they like her enough, they could just be foolish enough and say, hey, I want you to leave him. I'll pay you 40,000 bucks a month. You don't think that lady gonna leave you in a heartbeat and go be with that guy, and he could be way more ugly and unattractive than you, but it's a simple fact she finna get way more money, and she can send way more money back home to the province to take care of her family or whatever, and support her needs or whatnot. So that's why the idea of being in a transactional relationship in one of these foreign countries is just a no-no. That's you setting yourself up for failure. Then I had one dude come in my comment section, he said, yo, you too young to understand how the world works or whatever. When you in these foreign countries, you have to be in a transactional relationship, which I strongly disagree. No, you do not. Because you can actually meet a Thai woman that got enough self-respect that ain't gonna even ask you for your money, that don't even want your money, and she's not a freelancer. And if she find out you even been messing with freelancer, she'll block you on WhatsApp or line and won't even talk to you or have anything to do with you or whatever. They do exist. All women in Thailand are not freelancers. But when you go into these places where a lot of these guys promote, yes, in a place like Pattaya, Thailand, 90% of them are freelancers or ex-freelancers. They used to be one, and they got old and washed up and nobody found them attractive no more. So now they hanging out in the club and they looking for a guy to put them on the salary so they won't have to go out and run through so many customers like a cash register. So make sure you like and subscribe. That's the end of that story. And until next time, I'm out. One.